repair technology and technician training. Do not, I repeat, do not let just anyone repair your vehicle. It's your choice. Tell your insurance company you're taking your vehicle to Bill Edscorns and Sons Collision Centers. There are 2 locations, Bardstown Road and Shelbyville Road in Middletown. Or call us at 491-BODY or visit us at edscorns.com. That's ETSCORNS.com. This is Marcus Maven, and you're listening to 93.9 The Ville from the OPC Services Studio.
Up out of there.
Ain't nothing but against the party.
Why you acting like
You're listening to Middays with Marcus Maven, broadcasting live from the OPC Pest Services Studio on 93.9 The Ville. Now, here's Marcus Maven and Steve Rummage.
Welcome back. Welcome back. It's Midday with Marcus Maven. 8150 93.9 is the number. 93.9 is the station. People, it's Feast Week at Famous Dave's. Ooh. I just realized I'm doing. No, you do it.
Oh, you want me to do the food reading? Oh, okay. All right. It's Feast Week at Famous Dave's. Feast for 2 are only $22.22 all week long, starting today and running through Sunday through August 26th. Enjoy a half rack of ribs, half a roasted chicken, pork, brisket, Wilbur beans, slaw, fries, corn, and cornbread muffins. That's usually $36.99. But this meal is about 15% off the regular price. Orders are available, dine-in or carry-out. 8605 Citadel Way off of Hurstbourne. Feast Week is this week only, and only at Famous Dave's. Dig the pig.
Tim, thanks for joining us on 93.9, my man. Fire away. Tim, you there?
Oh, yeah, this is Tim. Yeah, fellas, listen, I'm just hoping that our new defensive coordinator can bring us back to the top 10 where we were in the past.
Ooh,
you know, we changed coordinators, and our coordinator led the SEC and the nation in defense, and we went to 70-something. And I'm just hoping our defensive coordinator can come.
Yeah.
And also, I was watching the Paul Feinbaum show, and they had Des Fitzpatrick on there. Did any of you guys see that?
I heard that they were talking about it, but I didn't hear what was said. What went on there?
Well, he said that, you know, he spoke out that he could beat all the defensive backs at Alabama. We need to hush. We don't need to put out talk like that. They need to tell him to hush. It made us look bad. They made a lot of bad comments about us and our honesty and everything. We need to be quiet and try to get ready to play some ball with them guys, because it's going to be real football, fellas.
Tim, let me ask you this. If they wouldn't have said anything about Alabama, do you think Alabama would be nicer in their coverage about Louisville?
I don't know. I really don't know about that. You know, I can't comment on what they would do. I'm just hoping that we can focus and pull in the end zone on the goal line. We can't be giving up touchdowns.
No, Tim, I appreciate the call. I mean, listen, back to my Wake Forest point. Listen, you're watching Lamar Jackson get sacked, right? Mm-hmm. And you're watching the ball fly out of his hands.
Yeah.
On a scramble. I've loved Lamar longer than anybody in this city has loved Lamar.
Right.
I made my reputation of knowing what I'm talking about by picking Lamar as a Heisman Trophy winner as a sophomore.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's a fact. But I tell you, when I look back in history and when I review, I do the same thing with basketball. When I look at how bad we looked as a team in hindsight.
Yeah.
Fundamentally, you know.
Right.
Or not as a team, but in certain places.
I know what you're saying. I mean, this is different. Yeah.
I look at the fumbles, and again, if you say Louisville had 27 fumbles last year, how many of them were Lamar, and how many of them do you just say, take the good with the bad?
Yeah.
Right? And how many do you realize these don't happen in regular offenses?
Right.
There's 16 fumbles that aren't even Bobby Petrino specific, not even protect the ball specific. 16. Come on, man. This is Lamar.
Right.
You know, 2 more. Jalen Smith, at least 1 more. Jalen Smith is playing with a broken hand. You know, so you can break down turnover problems.
Well, for one, even if it's not player specific, just that type of offense, I think there is plays with a higher risk of fumble than there is taking a snap from under center, hand off to the running back. I do think the one place we will be better is 10
quarterback to running back exchange,
especially 10 and in. I think from 10 and in there you will see a jump, which is kind of crazy with having Lamar. But I think from 10 and in, you'll see a jump of how many times Louisville puts it in the end zone.
Yeah, because you are tell me that you're not more comfortable with.
Well, it's easier to block. I mean, it's easier to block straight ahead, move, let's move my guy. I know what I'm doing. As opposed to Lamar was
I'll say it a million times. Alabama, Clemson, national championship, Deshaun Watson, 4th down and short.
Trying to do a show.
4th down and short, lining up behind Deshaun Watson and going 2 yards off tackle with a fullback, a blocking running back.
Yeah.
And a 6'4", 250-pound Jawan pass.
I know.
Gets you a comfortable 2 yards.
Yeah.
I don't have to run a Lamar Jackson, tuck the ball, play action, ball handling, tight end sneak out pass.
Right.
To get a 2-yard 4th and, or, a 4th and 2 or 4th and 1.
Yeah. No, I think
There's
that's fair.
so much less room for error on something that simple.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. I do think that will be an area where things will improve, where you'll see an improvement.
And again, that's not new coaching. That's not more emphasis on something.
No.
That is just regular, rational.
Yeah, right.
Improvement.
Right. And I don't. I don't know. I don't disagree either with what he said about the. I do disagree, obviously, with the talk.
I mean,
we've covered that.
Listen,
a bunch
this morning, James from Atlanta.
Yeah.
It was so funny hearing him say,
"Yeah,
I want to see what Bobby Petrino's going to do without Lamar Jackson."
Yeah.
And good job, Drew Diener. Well, he's been doing it without Bobby Petrino. I mean, without Lamar Jackson for his whole career.
Yeah.
And then Drew, I will nitpick. Drew said for 3 years. Well, really, it was 2.
Yeah.
1 year was Bolin, Bonifant.
Yeah,
and
you were
Lamar.
figuring Lamar out a little bit.
Right. Other than that,
Yeah.
your offenses have watched players run open over and over again. I'm more concerned about yards after catch.
Yeah.
Then you're worried about running backs. Somebody else is worried about quarterbacks. I'm worried about a receiver making a one-guy miss and being able to take it. We haven't talked about that at all.
Yeah.
You know why though? And this is me going total nerd football talk. I don't care if anybody disagrees with what I'm saying. I know spatial recognition.
Right.
Wide receivers last year had to focus so much on the football, on simply catching the football, that you couldn't worry about where the defense was. You couldn't worry about kind of that split second. When they talk about receivers kind of taking their eye off the ball at the point of contact. But here's the thing. When you know the ball's going to be there, you do kind of take your eye off the football.
No, 100%.
You can take your eye off the football and start concentrating on your awareness of where your defender is. You can start getting ready to make your move and catch the football simultaneously. We had no opportunities to get runs after catches because the receivers were so locked in on just let's hope this ball gets here
and
the
that's
right
not
way.
Lamar Jackson centric. That's mobile quarterback centric. If I'm coming across the field on a drag route, and I've got the mobile guy who likes to dance a little bit, move in and out. I don't really. There's not.
I don't know where he's going.
There's not a rhythm of where I know where that ball's
It's not a
coming
passing
out.
angle.
Yes, as opposed to where when I got a guy who comes
6'4" high arm.
I mean, drag route should probably 5-step. I don't know, kind of coming back, and I know, and I kind of got a rhythm of he's coming back, and he can put it on, and I know kind of that ball's going to be coming a little bit at an angle over the shoulder. I know where my linebacker
And I can
is.
protect. Yeah, I can protect myself. I
yes.
cannot protect myself with Lamar Jackson throwing that ball because he'll be running
I
it.
100% agree with you.
Linebackers
could
are hanging out.
That may be the best point anybody's made about the transition from Lamar Jackson to Now you know where you miss
Yak
Lamar
yards.
Jackson. You're going to miss Lamar Jackson when a defensive lineman makes just so we're making this clear.
Yeah, fair.
When a defensive lineman makes an amazing play, burns your guy, and you're going to remember how quick you miss Lamar, and Juwan doesn't make him miss. Guy gets him, sacks him, you lose 7 yards. As opposed to where maybe Lamar in that point steps up, gets around, takes off. Even if you get 3, as opposed to 7-yard loss. There will be things that will be the good with the bad, but the point you're making right there is probably the best point of the transition from Lamar to Juwan.
That nobody's talking about.
These
receivers, if they're capable of putting their foot in the ground and turning up with the let's hit the top of the hour.
Let's be legal so we don't lose our jobs.
An official broadcast partner of the University of Louisville, WLCL Sellersburg is 93.9 The Ville.
All right.
Welcome back, Midday with Marcus Maven. People, how many innings does your air conditioning system have left in it? You're about to find out with the stress of summer upon us. So what do we do here at this station? If there's a problem, we call DFH Company. They're fast, they're reliable, and they're good. And if you need to go to the bullpen for a new system, it's a great time to buy a new train comfort system from DFH this month only. You can get a 15-month special financing on qualified train comfort systems. It's hard to stop a train. So call DFH 968-6222 or look them up online at dfhcompany.com. Visit dfhcompany.com for complete program eligibility dates, details, and restrictions subject to credit approval.
Also, let me give, before we get back into it, since we're kind of coming back from a quote-unquote break here, let me give a quick shout-out. Elijah, my son, he plays Little League football, the different stuff. His Little Bullets coach, Wayne Burton, passed away this weekend. Actually, I think it was Friday. It was a coach that really taught him a lot, man, about when he started. I put Elijah in football. And Wayne, a lot of people around town, Shepherdsville, different stuff, know Wayne. And he was always there. It was kind of unexpected. Heart problems come up. And
Right.
Talking dude in his late 40s, early 50s, passes away.
Right.
So I talked to Elijah about it, but I put Elijah in football, and I was like, man, I don't know if he's got it.
Right.
And it was very, Coach Wayne really, man, did a lot with him. And it's a kudos to kind of where Elijah's at today. He goes to that. So just feel like I want to give him and his family a quick, shout out for everything. So
Speaking of, this will give us a chance to take a deep breath. Bravo, ESPN Louisville.
okay.
Bravo for their renewed attention on high school football.
Right.
Bravo.
All I do is win, no matter what.
I'll take it.
Got money on my
take
mind,
that.
I can never get it
fair.
up. And every time I step up in the
we can humble
field,
brag on ourselves.
everybody hands go up.
100%. Oh, come on, that's enough. Come on.
Okay, just a little bit
Come
for
on,
high school. Sorry.
come on. They don't get all that just
They
yet.
don't even get the full refrain.
So Brian, I particularly wanted you to get on the microphone. I don't know if you know the scheduling we have. We have the Friday night program. I just wanted to take a second, first of all, to say good job, ESPN Louisville. Then I'm gonna throw some little shade, right? And some shade at myself and some shade at Steve. We tried to do this last year, Steve, but we didn't do a good enough job forcing people to participate. I think we concentrate a little more towards basketball season. than we did in football season.
We did, yeah, because we just, like I said, consistently, we just talked about, see, in football, the way the districts were out, a lot of times you get Louisville teams, and basketball is where we got to watch the Louisville teams get absolutely screwed on a year in and year out basis.
And football, you just deal with Trinity and go home.
yeah, I mean, that's
I know.
That's kind of the case, but, football, we were just kind of a little bit aggravated about the state championships, being moved to Lexington, but regardless.
So real quick, what we are introducing here on 93.9, it'll be every Friday night. It'll start right after the drive at 6 o'clock. At 6 from 6 to 7, there's a pregame show that we've teamed up with 1450 and Dugan and some of the other guys. Actually talk some high school football, kind of preview the upcoming games, get you ready for them.
Right.
At 7 o'clock,
that's awesome.
We then go to a pre-recorded Chris Redman, Bob Redman, and Dion Branch TV show where they talk about high school football for 30 minutes.
Awesome.
So those guys for 30 minutes will get you prepared for the game, and then at 7:30 we'll have a featured game that we are going to go to every week. That will go to about 10 o'clock, and then at 10 o'clock we rejoin 1450 for a post-game wrap-up of all the high school events.
That's very cool.
Now what we're talking about going to, and it hasn't transitioned to it just yet, right now we are currently have a featured game, but we might go to a round table, and what type of idea. And during the 7 to 10 o'clock time, we might jump around between five different games.
Whoa!
On the weekend, 7 to 10 on Friday.
Whoa, Brian Hall. You know why I just stopped? Wait a minute. We're not the only show in town. Brian, don't be giving
Hey,
out.
I'm talking about PM.
Listen.
No AM time.
No, what I'm saying is don't be giving out these ideas, man, because there's a lot of little worms and rats and snitches. Oh, did you hear what they're doing over there? Hey, let's jump ahead of that. Let's get it. Don't be giving out all our
We've
ideas.
already got it in the works. We're already with the company that's doing it.
It's perfect.
Let's wait
It's
till
all the same deal.
till we get it done. So then once we're getting it done, then you can say, they're copying us. Everybody, they're copying us. You better come to the original.
Okay, well, if there's a round table that shows up, you didn't hear about it here on 93.9 or Middays with Marcus Maven.
Now, while I get to sing the praises of ESPN Louisville for a company great decision, decision.
Can we add into real quick that you can also, I see a few people doing it on the text line. On this show, we're very local centric. We like to talk to local sports. If you want to call in and give your school a shout out, give if you had a big game. Now, don't be calling in and be like, "Hey, yeah, I was gonna give my defensive end or my linebacker a shout out. He got 2 tackles."
Hey, Marcus, can you call Bobby and tell him my defensive end?
Well, heck, I got 2 tackles.
He's 5'2", and
I didn't even play this weekend. Like, come on, like, But I mean, you want to call in,
No, and we.
No, go ahead. What we got?
I'm gonna do this one time.
No,
I'm not. Okay, so point being, people, here's what I heard. Just to put a humanizing element to this. While some people hear radio programming, radio stuff, I want to know. No. It's always more important than what you give it credit for. Because here's the thing. When people talk about what happened to local basketball and what happened and why isn't local football getting the kind of respect, you know what happens? Steve?
Yep.
Every game against Kentucky, what does Marcus call it? The battle?
Yep, the hearts and minds
of the youth, right? I'm going to compare this to exactly what the newspaper used to be. If you were in the 8th grade, right?
Yeah.
And you got some little local props in the paper, right? That kid got props, right?
Yeah.
That kid got props, and then the kids around them looked at the kid. So when you walked into class and they said, "Oh, Steve, I saw you in the paper, as an 8th grader," and people saw the props you're getting. You know what happens? Other kids want to play. Other kids want to perform at a high level. You start driving up the value of your product by simple media attention.
Absolutely.
And people don't scoff at the idea of more of involvement when you hear somebody on the radio. Like, imagine if Middays with Marcus Maben. Imagine if Marcus Maben and Steve Rummage make reference to the 8th grader.
Yeah.
And then the other 8th graders who hear it. And then the parents who talk about the 8th graders that, that got their name mentioned. I'm telling you, a culture of success, of pushing harder. I mean, it happens with something as simple as that. So this is important. I mean, to me, it's important to give, the young fans just a little bit of shine.
Right.
Give the parents a bit to say, see, people are taking notice and they're always watching. Because what do we say? When you're teaching kids, you say there's always somebody watching, even if you don't see it or not. And sometimes just a mention on the radio can say, see, they're watching that other kid. They could be watching you too.
Sure. Well, and selfishly, I like, I don't know if I should say this. I like where, oh, fine. Y'all don't want to come up here and play? Well, you know what? Up here in the city, we put our games on the radio.
Oh my goodness!
We
Steve.
media blast our games.
You always make that so personal.
Yeah, but good game over there. And
so to continue the conversation, don't throw anybody.
No, I'm just saying I do enjoy that a little bit. By the way, can we do this real quick? Because except Bullitt Central, go to Bullitt Central, go to Bullitt County. Yeah, good people down there. Brian went to Brian's at Trinity. Brian, we have a new intern in there. Yeah.
Introduce yourself, intern Selena.
Let me get her up here. One sec. She is an assumption grad.
Wait a minute. What's her name?
What's up?
What's her name?
Selena Thompson.
That's my mother-in-law's exact name.
Scary.
That's kind of creepy.
Selena Thompson, get on that microphone. Yeah. Do not hide this. Day one. This is what we do. Selena, you pick up that microphone.
Yep, that's it.
Selena,
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Of course we can hear you.
Everybody, thousands and thousands of people can hear you right now.
Millions of people can hear you, Selena.
We can show you the numbers here in a few minutes.
Listen, introduce yourself first and last, and give us a couple of facts about yourself. Introduce yourself to the world, Selena.
Well, my name is Selena Thompson, and I graduated from Assumption High School.
Okay.
I am a senior at Ville right now.
Okay.
Keep going.
Do you have a boyfriend?
I'm studying communications.
What?
What would you do? You do that every time.
I'm just asking. This is a place.
No, just because
she's communication.
Just
she's
because
doing
every guy in our audience is wondering that, don't mean you should ask her.
I'm just asking.
Don't answer that, Selena.
I'm just okay.
Tell us one more thing about yourself.
I thought it was fair.
That you want the world to know.
See, I'm just saying.
A fan.
She's a U of L fan.
She's a U of L fan.
Which is positive because usually they throw the Kentucky fan in the 93.9 studio, the intern.
I'm so happy to have a Louisville fan back here with me. I mean,
it's amazing.
God, they finally got me somebody.
Every dude that would jump,
Kentucky fan.
Every dude that would jump back there, I'm like, oh, Kentucky fan.
And just for the record, Selena, when you come in here,
I'm gonna say
when they flip you into a Kentucky fan, Selena, you're done.
She won't. She won't. She's here.
So
look, first text.
Her sister goes to St. Her sister goes to UK, but is a U of L fan and wears Louisville gear on Kentucky's campus.
That's okay. You got to get degree. I don't mind. That's one thing I've never minded. I don't mind where you get your degree. I get that. The first text we get. That's why I ask. Selena,
how you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?
That's why I ask right off the bat. No, anytime we get a female in the booth, I say, "Hey, do you got a boyfriend?"
How would you like it if some new intern at your new job? Hey, Steve, you got a girlfriend?
You know what I would say? No, I don't. I'm just throwing it out there.
I got a nice Range Rover.
I do got a nice Range Rover. Speaking of that, no, we haven't talked about that yet. We haven't talked about that today.
I shouldn't have said that.
We haven't talked about it on the show yet. I bought the Range Rover. So I did. Yes, thank you. It is nice.
White looks nice.
It is very nice. It's red. Look, it's got the red brake things. Oh. It's red and black. I'm putting the black grill on it, the chrome red letters. Sporty. Oh man, I mean it's U of L.
Where'd you get it from?
Go Bottom. go, baby. With Kenny, you know where I got it from.
3705 Bardstown Road. And it wasn't a hookup. It's just the sweet deals you're getting at Globe Auto.
Yes.
Listen, they're making a push to get everybody in nice cars right now. You better get on before the prices go up. When the value goes up, the prices go up. And then he's going to open more lots. You better get in there early. Globe Auto. 3705 Bardstown Road. I'm
talking with the Range Rover. I got the 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty. I mean, I got it all, man.
Oh, man.
Oh, it's nice.
So let's get
the thing's got a sunroof, Marcus, that goes from the front of the car to the back of the car.
Just say invisible ceiling.
It has no ceiling. It's just it's all open.
No ceiling.
It's like I'm driving a convertible that I can't get rained on.
That's a good point. So okay, so let's jump back to series. I'm glad we got our shout outs. I'm glad we got a chance to say, listen, this studio, this station is trying to make a concerted effort to get back involved in the high school scene.
They are.
So you listen, the more you support it, the more you support us, the more it supports these up and comers.
Yeah, because I mean we love this stuff, man, and we love the local, and it's good. So no, that's okay. We'll wait for you to cough. Everybody, listen. That was Marcus Maven. Go ahead, get you a drink. There it is. No, I'm not taking up for you on this one.
No, that's fine.
No, we'll wait. I just want everybody to pull back the curtain.
Bobby Petrino makes his comments on Friday. There's a social media storm. Now the world is hoping Bobby Petrino fails.
No, I don't. Well, I don't know. I don't know if the world's hoping that.
Listen, that was a comment. I just wanted. That was a talking point. See, that wasn't my opinion.
No, I know. I think that locally, there's more people locally hope he fails than nationally. Because I think nationally, I think everybody wants to see Louisville go in there and knock Alabama out in game 1. Absolutely. Oh yeah.
No, I don't know about that. Because here's the thing.
Outside of the South.
Listen, Alabama losing to us almost knocks everybody down one peg. Because Alabama one loss is getting in.
Well, but it gives them. I think at that point. No, I agree with you. I agree with you on that. But I will say, I think everybody outside of the South, because the South doesn't want to lose to a Bobby Petrino Louisville. Okay, that is one thing.
That changes the scale.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. How about that? Nobody wants to lose to Bobby Petrino at Louisville.
Yeah, that's fair.
Nobody wants. It's like the Memphis thing. Like nobody wants that success. You know what? I don't even think it's Bobby. Now that I think about it, you don't like non-traditional powerhouses to become powerhouses.
Oh man,
it's the scariest thing in the world. I'm listening.
Well, I'm putting this on you too. University of Louisville redshirt sophomore running back Tobias Little sustained a knee injury in practice and will miss the entire 2018 season. You want to talk about injuries anymore on the show today, Marcus? Tobias Little was going to get a lot of run at fullback this year. That is a loss. That is a loss you don't like. I don't want to downplay that, but I mean, that's rough. What's that? Ouch. Tell your customer to go shop somewhere else. Go somewhere else.
I tried to save you from that, and I could not click off that text fast enough.
Should say, well, you know what? Take their money. Don't.
I know.
Yeah.
Don't lose money on my behalf.
Don't lose money on my behalf. Take their money, but then be like, you know what? Hey, come back next time with a better attitude.
So okay. So what's your overall like? Give me a census on Louisville fan outside of SEC, because you're basically saying SEC does not want to lose to Bobby Petrino all in together with that one.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think nationally,
because if the SEC loses to Bobby Petrino in game 1, their SEC does not hold that superiority complex for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
That's a fact.
Yeah,
ACC moves up in the technical numbers. You're gonna put it this way. You're gonna give the ACC every bit of trash talk fodder they're gonna need.
And I think the SEC this year,
just like we want Clemson to go waste LSU.
Well, the SEC this year, I think, is flirting with not getting a team in the playoff if Alabama loses.
Is that possible?
If it's
Is
going
that
to,
possible?
well, I think they'll get a team in, but I think this is a year where
Texas has 2 lost. Bama would still get in.
it wouldn't shock me. But I think this is a year where the SEC outside of Bama, I mean, Georgia's going to be good, but Georgia's, they just lost a starting running back.
Actually, I don't agree. 2 lost Bama that loses to Louisville does not get
Probably
in.
not. Yeah. So I don't know that you can't afford to lose to Louisville. And there's a lot at stake. And let me tell you why there's a lot at stake. That ESPN the other day was ranking the most important non-conference games to the college football playoff and had Louisville, Alabama at number 3. It's the 3rd most important game to the college football playoff landscape. Not opening week, out of conference as a whole.
This year.
Yeah, this year. Because if Louisville knocks out Bama,
Louisville's going to be Louisville is the king of Middle Earth.
Oh, yeah.
Around the whole college landscape.
Absolutely.
If Louisville can compete with the big dogs of the and I'm talking about the big dog powerhouses, then you put it this way. You force the world to open up to every other team that's not a traditional powerhouse.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah, no, I mean that's fair, and the thing is it twofold. It puts Bama in a
humanizing
situation where they may not be a playoff team this year, and in turn, I've said this before: if Louisville were to beat Alabama, Louisville probably in the second week comes out number 9. All of a sudden, they're getting projected because now Louisville's schedule takes a turn, and people start to go, well, they beat Bama. Oh, my God. I mean, Clemson's maybe the only game they won't be favored in from here on out.
If people realized how much a good game Louisville giving Alabama a good game, if people realized how much that would mean, if they realized how much it would mean to college football to have Louisville bust them in that opener, they'd be cheering for Louisville with all the passion they can muster, especially if you have any other team that you have any hopes of winning a national championship that are not the 4 teams in the Big Ten, the 2 in the Big 12, the 2 in the Pac-12, and the SEC schools. Out of all the other 100 and whatever football, Division I football teams with a shot at the championship, you ought to be praying.
Oh, yeah.
Praying.
That's what I say. The South is worried about the South
because they have a monopoly.
Yes,
you have a monopoly on the college football playoffs.
But outside of there, everybody is rooting for Louisville to knock Bama out.
They should be.
Saturday night. They are. No, they 100%.
And see, I'm not even saying Bama to knock the SEC out of superiority complex world.
Yes, because that would be what you would see if Bama loses in open. That's why this AP poll that's coming out at noon, I wouldn't be totally floored if Louisville was sitting in there at 25, just to put a number next to them.
19.
So, no, they probably won't be in it, but I wouldn't be blown away if they were.
I'm telling you, the more they read these national stories about all this defensive crap, people are getting nervous to take the Alabama blowout because they realize they're only saying the same thing that the callers say. It's Bama.
Yeah.
And they even hear Nick Saban saying, no, dude, it's not Bama. It's one-on-one individual development. It's me having depth to redshirt a guy 2 and 3 years, build him up, put 40 pounds of pure muscle, keep his speed, then I can plug him in. But when I can't plug in a junior, that's a well-developed junior, when I have to plug in a true freshman who has not had Alabama weight program, when I have to plug in a freshman who is not stupid uber athlete, guy with new coordinator, that's different.
Right.
Smart college people, smart, writers are starting to pick up on all this, and it's reverberating through the college football universe. I think you're going to see them higher than 25. I think you're going to see them ranked and maybe up there a little.
I don't. I don't. I mean, maybe.
You're saying you wouldn't be surprised?
I wouldn't be blown away if it happened, but I don't think it will.
National Energy.
But I do.
I think they smell Bobby too.
Yeah,
They smell something. Listen, they smell something coming out of this Louisville camp.
Well, I think everybody does right now. I think that's why locally you can't deny it. That's why the only thing Naysayer has is to make fun of Bobby's voice or something. Like that's what Naysayer has
Jawan
right now.
Pass is a higher big time recruit than Tua.
Oh, he's right on par. Yeah. Which is another thing I didn't agree with the caller earlier. Was it Adam maybe called and said they got big time playmakers now, and named Tua and different ones. I don't. I mean,
He's never had that.
yeah. I mean, he's had Julio Jones. He's had Calvin Ridley. He's had Mark Ingram. He's had Derrick Henry. He's had Eddie Lacy.
I was gonna say
I would argue he has less playmakers now than he's ever had.
Ever. Why didn't you say that when he was on the phone this week?
Because I just that attitude just shuts me down. I'm sorry.
Quick commercial break. Midday with Marcus Maven.
Get it out.
81. Get it out. Yeah,
No.
I feel you. Get it out the system. 8150 93.9 is the number on 939 The Ville.
Hey, football